Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Jason again. Today's video is pretty much here just to tell you a little bit about my experience with the new CRV I got. I've only had it for a couple, maybe a week or two. When I bought it, we drove it maybe 3 hours the whole way home with a check engine light code. The previous owner told me that it was the throttle position sensor and that it was gonna have problems at idle. I didn't know that before picking up the car. I realized that once I was there. So we realized it was gonna be an issue. We asked him if the car would drive fine all the way home. He said it would. So we sent it pretty much, wanted the car. Had to send it, we're already 3 hours out. And it was in the middle of nowhere, like farmland and everything, coming from the city. Yeah, we're like, that, we're taking it. So we ended up getting a good deal on it too. So that was another bonus. So yeah, every time we would stop at a light, after a certain amount of time, it would just, the idle would fluctuate. It would also like bounce off to like 1500. I didn't realize till later that the motor was shaking a lot. The exhaust sounded louder. The car just wasn't running right. So we ended up bringing it home. And I was gonna check the code, right? But when I was checking the code, or when I was thinking about checking the code, I set up my light just like this. I started looking around, seeing what I have to do, kind of just checking out the motor, right? Taking another second, more in-depth look. And while I was doing that, I ended up finding the throttle position sensor tucked in back here like that, pretty much just hiding back there. I don't know how I spotted it, but it just so happened to be there. So I don't know how I spotted it, I just happened to look there and I'm like, oh, throttle position sensor. So that means that they did mess with it, or at least they did try to fix it, right? So I end up checking the throttle position sensor voltage and I'm not able to adjust it to the right specs. No matter what I do, I cannot get the wide open throttle to hit what I needed to hit. And I thought maybe the volt was wrong, but no. I end up removing the intake air box, just 2 bolts, and pull it out. End up removing this pipe, the lines running to it. I even removed the throttle body, but you don't necessarily have to remove all this stuff. It just made it easier for me. Yeah, I end up removing all of these things to get to the throttle position sensor back here, right? And when I pull it out, I look at it and I look at this OEM one, and the OEM one didn't look like it was in bad condition. At least it swiveled fine. But what I didn't realize or think of is that there's a sensor. It's a sensor, so it's electric inside, right? So just for good measure, I end up throwing the original sensor back on. When I throw it on, I'm able to adjust it to the exact voltage that I needed, like no issues. So in my head, I'm thinking, hell yeah, I got it fixed. We're good to go, Like for some reason, maybe the sensor that they got was some cheap sensor or it's for the wrong car. I have no clue. All I know is it's not gonna work, right? So I end up putting everything back together. I turn on the car and it won't turn on. I keep trying to turn it on, it won't turn on. I would give it gas and it would kind of try to turn on, but then it would just die. So that pretty much means that this one was staying closed up. It was done. So there's a reason they replaced it, right? I end up checking the other one, the one that's now on the throttle body, right? I check it out and at first I thought I noticed some differences, but no, there was no differences. It looked exactly the same. So I ended up getting a small Dremel, and I thought that it wasn't getting enough play on the replacement one. So I ended up just making a really, really tiny shaving just to give it a little bit more play, right? Because I thought that's what it needed. I was wrong. It's wrong. That's not what it needed. The second time around, I realized that the person who previously installed it, they did not take into account this little crevice right here, this little line. This line goes into teeth right here inside of the throttle body. So if you don't put it correctly, either you put it before or after the teeth, right? Not in the middle where it should go. I'll try to get a picture for you guys too. But if you don't put it on right, it's gonna be prematurely open, or it's not going to be able to open completely, right? So after I went back and installed it the second time, I was able to adjust it exactly to the measurements that I needed, and bam, car got fixed. The car got fixed. Idle went back to normal. No more check engine light. The engine even got quieter and smoother. No more fluctuating in the idle. So, I mean, this is just a video to warn you guys that this is something that could happen, or at least a cheap fix for if there is a possibility, if someone was just messing with it recently or something like that, that this is something that could happen to you. I just want to share my experience with you guys, because this part was pretty easy to fix. It's not terribly hard. Give you some confidence on doing that. Yeah, the car is running like a champ now. I'll even turn it on for you guys. Make sure there's no check engine light. Yep, so no more check engine light. It's still rattling a little bit loud because it's got the solid mounts, but there's no more idle fluctuation. This thing is like spot on. Nothing, no bouncing, no weirdness. So yeah, if you're experiencing something like that, you kind of know where to start. If you own a CRV and you were unable to adjust your throttle position sensor exactly to what you needed it, then you know you did wrong. Go back in there and fix it. So catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate you guys watching my videos. Let's go.